Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're unpacking a really fascinating market mystery. Picture this. It's July 3rd, 2026. The Indian stock market opens, and suddenly, boom, some of the most premium, high-flying energy equipment stocks out there take a massive nosedive. We're talking about companies with just absolutely incredible multi-year growth trajectories hitting a sudden, sharp wall. You've got to wonder what exactly happened to trigger a shock like that. Well, in today's Explainer, we're going to dissect this sudden market movement using pure, unadulterated source data to separate the panic from the reality. Let's get into it. Intraday drops of 8 to 9%. That's what we saw for top-performing, premium-valued Indian energy stocks. Giants like GE Vernova T&D and Hitachi Energy. Honestly, a sell-off of this magnitude in just a single day, especially for sector leaders, it immediately begs the question, what caused this sudden wave of fear? Was it, a fundamental flaw in the companies themselves? Or did the rules of the game just completely change overnight? Okay, let's dive into this. But right before we uncover the exact trigger, I just want to quickly anchor our explainer today. We are looking at the facts, breaking down research on policy shifts and market impacts. This is strictly for educational purposes, guys, not a direct buy or sell recommendation. Always do your own due diligence. We're just here to understand the why and the how of this whole event, so you can see exactly how macroeconomic policies ripple down to individual stocks. All right, Section 1, the culprit. Unpacking the policy shift. So spoiler alert, the sudden market shock wasn't caused by a bad earnings report. Actually, it was driven by a sudden, very pragmatic shift in government procurement rules. On June 24, 2026, the Indian Finance Ministry dropped an order that just caught the market completely off guard. They allowed 4 specific Chinese-linked power equipment manufacturers, that's TBEA Energy, Nanjing Electric, New Northeast Electric, and Haikai Electric, to participate in government tenders for critical power projects. Now, it is absolutely crucial to read the fine print here. This exemption applies only to entities that already have manufacturing units physically located right there in India. So it's not some blanket opening for direct, unrestricted overseas imports. It's a highly targeted move for companies already producing locally. Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds, because context is everything. Back in 2020, following border clashes, India put up broad restrictions. They required Chinese bidders to get strict political and security clearances before even looking at state contracts. But fast forward to February 2026, and reports started popping up about severe supply chain shortages. We're talking major bottlenecks in transformers and reactors, which was causing huge project delays. And that brings us to June 2026. The government issued a targeted 2-year bidding exemption for those 4 specific companies. And the order explicitly states, do not treat this as a precedent. It's literally just a temporary relief valve driven purely by supply chain realities, not a total reversal of the 2020 security policies. Which brings us to Section 2, the macro why, India's trillion rupee grid problem. To really grasp why the government felt forced to open that relief valve, we have to zoom out. We need to look at the massive structural forces shaping India's macroeconomic landscape right now. The Indian power sector is essentially being rocketed forward by 4 unstoppable forces. First, rising electricity demand. It's projected to grow at a massive 6 to 6.5% long-term, fueled by the boom in EVs, green hydrogen hubs, and of course, energy-hungry data centers. Second, the huge push for renewable energy integration. Third, urgent grid reliability upgrades. And fourth, rapid industrial electrification. The country's ambitions are they're creating this insatiable, overwhelming need for power equipment. And to put that into perspective, that insatiable need comes with a staggering price tag of over 9.15 lakh crore rupees. Yeah, you heard that right. That is the estimated investment required in India's transmission sector by 2032. The National Electricity Plan is targeting the integration of 500 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030 and over 600 gigawatts by 2032. To move all that power, the country has to build more than 191,000 circuit kilometers of new transmission lines. So the government absolutely cannot afford bottlenecks. They need equipment, and honestly, they need it yesterday. All right, Section 3, spotlight on 4 stocks. The market reaction. Now that we see the massive macro pressure, let's zoom back into the micro level and look at those 4 specific companies. This brilliantly illustrates exactly why investors panicked. Just pay close attention to the TTMPE. That's the trailing 12-month price-to-earnings ratio. Hitachi Energy was trading at a massive 140 to 152 times earnings. GE Vernova at 88 to 101 times. Siemens Energy and CG Power were also sky high. These are ultra-premium valuations. I mean, these stocks were priced for absolute perfection. So when the July 3rd drop happened, ranging from 7.2% for CG Power down to 9% for GE Vernova, it was a sudden, harsh sentiment reset. Investors suddenly realized, wait, new competition could actually threaten the flawless profit margins that these high valuations totally rely on. So it kind of becomes a massive balancing act between risks and rewards. On the risk side, you've got those premium valuations and the very real fear that these 4 newly exempted Chinese-linked competitors might just bid aggressively. That would put pressure on tender pricing and squeeze everyone's margins. But flip it over to the reward side. These domestic leaders, they have massive multi-year order backlogs. They are aggressively expanding their own capacity, and they still maintain a really significant local manufacturing edge, plus a deeply trusted brand history in India. And what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of the underlying business reality, completely despite the stock drop. Look at FY25. Hitachi Energy India reported order growth of 228% year-over-year, ending with its highest ever order backlog of over 19,000 crore rupees. GE Vernova T&D, their backlog expanded by about 102% to a massive 126.6 billion rupees. So that insane demand we talked about earlier, it's not theoretical. It is showing up vividly in these corporate order books. The fundamentals of the businesses are incredibly strong, even if the stock prices did take a temporary hit. Moving on to Section 4, the long-term verdict. So how do we synthesize all this data? We've got a massive national grid requirement, a super pragmatic policy shift, and a sudden stock market correction. Well, here are your key takeaways. Number 1, this policy shift is not a structural negative that destroys the sector. It's really just a valuation and margin risk event for heavily priced stocks. Number 2, the Indian government is clearly prioritizing the execution of its national grid infrastructure over short-term protectionism. They simply have way too much renewable capacity to build to let equipment shortages slow them down. And finally, number 3, that 9.15 lakh rupee pie. It is so incredibly large that there is ample room for domestic leaders to continue growing, even with a few more players sitting at the bidding table. So, the absolutely crucial point here is, what should you do with this information? Well, over the next 2 to 4 quarters, you'll want to monitor these 4 specific metrics. First, watch the order inflows. Are they still growing? Second, keep an eye on tender win rates. Are the domestic giants still actually winning the big government contracts? Third, track the EBITDA margins, the core operating profitability, just to see if that pricing pressure actually materializes. And fourth, closely read management commentary in the upcoming earnings calls to see what they say about this new competitive landscape. That is how you track the real-world impact of a policy pivot. And that brings us to the end of today's explainer on the premium power sell-off. We've gone all the way from a sudden market shock right down to the macroeconomic drivers and the corporate balance sheets. Thanks so much for joining me today. Now, I have a question for you. Considering everything we just discussed, which stock or market event should we analyze next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.